hello there, gang. Welcome to the 30 episode 109. Thank you for joining me on this week, on this day. The 30, of course, is a Jackman Group LLC production. We bring this and we do this every week where we touch on relevant topics. We also interview leaders, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and those that are doing some positive things in our community, not just locally, but nationally and internationally. So, over the past couple of weeks, I want to thank you for being here again. Over the past couple of weeks, the last weeks, we've been, I think it's the last month, we've been talking more about giving you some keys to unlock the door to a successful career or business. And we had some tremendous guests, and we had some great discussion over the last month. Today, we're kind of going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to move forward, and we're going to be covering a topic that we all have. We struggle in one way or the other, whether it is where we go to the same store, we travel the same route, but we're going to be talking about stepping out of our comfort zone. Is that something that you do, you don't do, or it depends? So we're going to be covering that on this show, whether you're watching us live or you're watching us in replay. I want you to weigh in. Make sure that you send us comments. Make sure that you have put it in the comments field. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and do that. We would love to hear what you have to say in reference to getting out of your comfort zone. Is that something that you do on the regular, or is it something that you probably don't do, or maybe you do sometimes, and it all depends on the circumstance? Let us know. We would love to hear what you have to say. So if you are watching us live, or if you're watching this replay, you miss any of our previous episodes. Again, we are 109. You can go to our YouTube channel. It is found under the Jackman Group LLC. And we have all of our previous episodes listed there. So go there, make sure that you check it out. And if you are interested in this show, we want to hear from you. Like the broadcast, make sure you like it and share it with your friends and your colleagues. Let them know that the 30, we are talking about getting out of your comfort zone tonight. So stay out of your comfort zone. Don't get in your, I would say, make a step out. If you haven't shared this broadcast yet, step out, share it, like it. All right. So we're going to get this party started. Where we're going to be covering, I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to be talking about, from my personal experience, those times that I've actually ventured out of my comfort zone. So we're going to be covering, what is your comfort zone? What is the reason for getting out of your comfort zone, right? And what happens if you don't? Those that are not comfortable with moving out of your comfort zone. So stick around. We'll be back in about 20 seconds. All right, welcome again to the 30 tonight, episode 109. Our focus is stepping out of your comfort zone. Yes, no, it depends, maybe. Now, I recently read an article and I posted it. It's actually part of this promo. And it was a pretty interesting article. I got it from Psychology Today, and the author was Dr. Abigail Brenner. And she read, and I quote, "Each of us has our own comfort zone, which, more than an actual place, is a psychological, emotional, behavioral construct that defines the routine of our daily life. Being in one's comfort zone implies that it's a place that we are familiar with. It brings us safety and security. I read that and I was like, wow, what a powerful statement. And she goes on to talk about some of the things in the article that causes us to stay into our comfort zone, and the importance of getting out of our comfort zone. So tell me, where are you? Are you okay with stepping out of your comfort zone, or do you just like the safety of that, of what I call that blanket, being and surrounded by that box within your zone? You know, some of the things that when we look at it, when I read that article, what hit me was it's a psychological, it's an emotional and behavioral behavior. So it simply means that how I understood it was we may have to leave the safety and security sometime, right? If we are to step out of our comfort zone, we may have to, if we decide to step out, we may have to, if we're driving the same route, we eventually have to drive a different route. If we drink the same drinks, whether you're buying it from one of the coffee shops, we may have to do something a little bit different. But being familiar, being in the safe zone, having that security, does that mean that you're actually growing? Or does that mean that you're stuck in your ways? Some of us, we just like that safety and that security. We enjoy being safe. We are what I call risk avert, right? We don't like to take risks. We don't like change. If the road that we're traveling to work or to church or going to visit our family members, if that route is closed, then we become anxious to take a different route. So for some of us, it can be hard stepping out of our comfort zone. But what happens when we don't step out of a comfort zone? It simply means that we are limiting ourselves. We're robbing others and robbing ourselves of our talents and our gifts. See, we all have gifts and talents. So if we decide to play things safe, if we decide to live in that bubble and not step out of the comfort zone, we're taking away from what others would learn. We're taking away from what we will learn. See, sometimes we're comfortable when we hang around the same people. It feels good. As I said, we drive the same route. We eat the same food. We do the same thing over and over again because it feels good. It's part of our comfort zone. But wouldn't you prefer to grow, to step out, to have a little fun, to enjoy yourselves? I don't know. You tell me. Because stepping out of our comfort zone means that we're giving up something. So the question comes in, are you good with stepping out of your comfort zone? Or does it make you anxious? Does it make you afraid? Now, I was talking to my wife, I was having a conversation with her earlier about this topic and how it came about and what I'll be discussing. And she said something to me which I found was profound. And she said, discomfort comes with a well lived life. And I'll say that again. Discomfort comes with a well lived life. And I said, what do you mean by that? You mean a well lived life financially, someone who's in good shape, someone who's well off? And her comment was, no, it's not a matter of financial, but it's a matter of, are we willing to step out of our comfort zone? Because when we do that, when we decide to do that, it brings about some discomfort. She said, instead, we're talking about stepping out. And that brings basically some level of being uncomfortable. So, my question to you today is, are you willing to step out of your comfort zone? See, there are many reasons why people are not willing to step out of a comfort zone. As I said, it makes us there's some anxiousness about it. There's some fear of stepping out. It's like change. Most of us don't like change because it's something different. It's something that we're not used to. Meeting a new person is different. Doing something new is different. But that's all based on stepping out of your comfort zone. So there are many reasons for us not to step out of our comfort zone. Recently, we took a vacation celebrating our 12th wedding anniversary, my wife and I, and we did something a little bit different. As I was discussing it with the concierge, and she was telling me, okay, these are some of the things that you can do. You can tour here, you can do that. And then she mentioned a UTV tour. It's like, whoa, what's that? I heard about ATVs, but she said, no, it's different from an ATV, but it's a UTV tour. And I asked her, so tell me more about that. Because now I became intrigued. I became pretty interested about it, right? In it. She says you can either do a 6-hour tour or you can do a 3-hour tour. The 6-hour tour, where you can stop and they'll pick you up from a certain place. You go to an ocean and a wildlife, and you can spend some time there. So my thought was, okay, I'm willing to do the 3-hour tour. But now I have to convince my wife to step out of her comfort zone. So I had to do some selling, show her the potential benefits of stepping out of her comfort zone and going on this 3-hour tour. So what I did, I brought the concierge over and I asked her, could you walk us through some of the potential benefits and the excitement of this UTV tour? Because I was all geeked up and ready to go. So she started to lay it out. And that was, I think it was a couple of days before we actually went on the tour. So we did the tour the day before we were supposed to come back. But the young lady said to us, you're going to leave clean, but you'll probably come back dirty. So imagine, if you may, we're going on this UTV tour. There are a number of people. We're out there on the UTVs. We're going up in mountains. There's water, there's mud. So she said, it's a blast. So where we were, there are some iguanas that's in that area. There's some wildlife. So I'm having to sell this now, right? Just to make sure that we can get out of our comfort zone and do something a little bit different. So when we got there, there were probably about, I would say about maybe 10 to 12 couples. All of us have never been on a UTV, going out in the wild, up in the mountains and having fun. So some were anxious, some were nervous, Some of us were excited because it was something new, right? Stepping out of a comfort zone, which would allow us to grow in many different ways. I've never been on a UTV. I've never been on an ATV. I've never been up in the mountains where there's mud and getting dirty and leaving clean and coming back with mud all over you. Never done that before. But I was willing to step out because it was an opportunity for growth. But don't you know, by the time we were finished with that tour, it was one of the best things, probably one of the best things that we've ever done on vacation. Yes, we were dirty. Yes, we were muddy. But I grew in so many different ways because I'm at the control. I'm driving. Imagine this, I'm driving, and we have some that are driving crazy. Our tour guide, he's in front, one is behind. So there are two groups, four of us in the front group, and then there's some slackers. Well, no, there's some people that are behind us trying to keep up. So I'm out there in the mud trying to avoid the mud and trying to avoid the water, but it was a blast. So I look at that and I says, think about that. What if I didn't step out of my comfort zone? Number one, would I have met the individuals that I met? Great people in terms of those that went on the tour. Would I have experienced what I experienced going through the mountains? Would I have seen the beauty of the mountains? No, I wouldn't have. So sometimes you have to make a decision. You've heard me say this over and over again. Probably one of my all-time favorite quotes, which is, growth is only experienced when you make the decision to step out of your comfort zone. Again, the key here is making a decision. So we had to make the decision to step out of our comfort zone by purchasing the tour and actually showing up to take the bus to the location, to get into UTVs, to go up to the mountains, to complete the 3 hours. But as a result of that, I personally have grown tremendously. I met some great people. It was something that I would have normally not done. Although I'm a risk taker, although I step out of my zone, out of my comfort zone, but that is something that I would have never done. I look back and when we were kids, we took a lot of risks. We learned how to ride a bike. We fell. Some of us fell more than once, right? We took risks. We were out of our comfort zone when we were younger. But what happened? As we became more mature, not older, but mature, our idea of stepping out of our comfort zone becomes less. I remember prior to COVID, at this great gym locally, Bert's Box, a shout out to Robbie Ortiz and his family. And I remember when he was we were trying to do the handstand, right? And I'm thinking, I am not doing this handstand because I'm thinking in my mind, I have a family to look after. I have all these dreams to accomplish, all these goals to accomplish. And I'm thinking in my mind is playing tricks on me now, right? Listening to that negative self-talk and saying, if I go out there and I do a handstand, I'm probably likely to break my neck, right? I'm probably likely to fall. But think about that. I was stuck in my ways. I wasn't looking, I was stuck in, I was limited of not willing to step out of my comfort zone. So because of that, I limited myself of not experiencing something that the others did. I limited myself in terms of my conditioning, my exercise routine. So when we don't step out of our comfort zone, we're actually putting limits on ourselves and not accomplishing the things that we should. Is it scary? Absolutely scary to step out of your comfort zone. Is it worthwhile? Absolutely worthwhile to step out of your comfort zone. Think about the reasons, or think about some of the gains that you can have by stepping out of your comfort zone. We grow. We grow, whether it's physically through exercise, whether it's emotionally, right? But we're growing. Whether it's spiritually, we are growing when we decide to step out of our comfort zone. We also meet new people, some great people. I told you my experience. We met some wonderful people. So by stepping out of your comfort zone, you can also meet and engage others that you might have not engaged before. We can also build and have new experiences that we can look back at and talk about. But also, probably one of the most important things is that when we step out of our comfort zone, we build confidence within ourselves. Now we can look back and say, wow, only if I had done that sooner, I might have been further along. So it builds up our confidence when we decide to step out of our comfort zone. So I don't want you to limit yourself. I don't want you to put limits on yourself by staying in your comfort zone. I want you to be open, be brave. So I'm going to challenge you to do something that you've never done before. In the next week, in the next month, in the next year, do something that you've never done before. Go someplace that you've never gone before. Make a step out of your comfort zone. And I guarantee you, you will enjoy it. You'll look back and say, wow, why didn't I do this previously? If you're accustomed, for me, when it comes to drinking, whether tea, I love tea, but I love chai tea. And when the establishment that I go to don't have it, I'm like, okay, should I try something else? It's to the point that when I go to this particular place, sometimes they have my tea ready for me as soon as I come through the door, and they know exactly what I'm going to get. Now that's my comfort zone, right? That's living within my comfort zone. And at times I have to say, nope, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to drink something else. They're like, whoa, what? So I made the choice to step out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to challenge you to do something that you've never done before. It's okay. Step out. Live a little. Life can be so short. We've all been impacted by this pandemic. We've all known people who have passed away, who are no longer here. I've known some that are younger than me. Life can be short. So don't be timid. Don't get so anxious that you can't step out of your comfort zone. Live life. Enjoy life. I'm not saying to do something crazy. I'm not saying that, right? You still have to maintain your credibility. You still have to know who you are and whose you are. So I'm not saying to go wild and crazy. All I'm saying is simply step out of your comfort zone and do something that you've never done before. I guarantee it that you will enjoy it. Even if you fail the first time, it's okay. Think about when we were young. We learned to ride our bicycle. We fell. We got back up, dusted off, we rode again, probably fell again, but we didn't give up on it. So even if you did something differently, you make a step out of your comfort zone and it didn't work. So what? You might have been further along by doing that versus staying in your comfort zone. So I challenge you. I come today to challenge you and say, take a step, whatever it is. If it's starting a new business, step out of your comfort zone. If it's meeting new friends, take a step forward. If it's changing the route that you drive, change that route. If it's eating something different, eat something different. If it's drinking a different drink, go ahead, drink a different drink. So what it is, whatever it is, don't be stuck in your comfort zone. Step out. You will grow from it. You will have some positive experiences. It will help you to build confidence. And I want to hear from you in terms of what you've done. Send me a notice. Send me an email. Drop me a line. Let me know exactly what you've done and how you have enjoyed it. Good, the bad, and the ugly. So I just wanted to come to today. If you notice, I don't have a guest because, and this is something that I've struggled with, right? I've struggled with coming on by myself. And that little negative self-talk says, well, you can't do this by yourself. You don't have enough material and content. So I had to step out and says, I can do this. Yes, I love to interview people because I love to hear about them and what they're doing and their successes. And we're going to continue to do that on the show. But I'm also learning to step out of my comfort zone and says, it's okay. It's all right to carry the show. Don't listen to the negative self-talk. Step out. So I dare you, step out of your comfort zone, do something different, do something that you've never done before, and I know that you would enjoy it. Drop me a note. You can reach me here, info@jackmangroup.llc.com. If you have any ideas for the show, or if you would like to be a guest on the 30, you can also send me an email, info@jackmangroup.llc.com. Also, join our community. I invite you to join the Jackman Group community. Simply go to jackmangroup.llc.com. On the top left of the page, hit join community and be a part of our growing community. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for your ongoing support of the 30. We are 2.5 years strong, and we plan to continue. So thanks for your support. Wherever you're watching from, whether you're watching us live or in replay, make sure, take a step out of your comfort zone. You will grow. God bless you. We'll see you next week.